Hello and welcome to Mighty Obstacle Studios month in review for January 2024. Yeah, Scouter is all that's going to be in this update. Whoo boy, let's get into it. The first is the reveal of who would basically be the deuteragonist, Inti. Inti is Scout's best friend outside of work and during it. She and Scout grew up in the same orphanage together, and her whole shtick is that she's extremely smart, to a fault. She is basically Scout's radio buddy, but also the dedicated field hacker to the team. In fact, her hacking is how Scout and Inti got their current jobs. Now, what I mean by to a flaw with her intelligence is that she gets wrapped up in stuff with a laser focus that she forgets basic necessities, like sleep and food sometimes. Scout has to remind her to do both, and she'll even physically drag Inti away from stuff. I figured if she's going to be thumbnail bait, I may as well talk about her. I didn't do the same with Scout because that was accidental, but you know what? I'm going to have something dedicated to her at some point. Unfortunately, that's about it for the ladies that aren't spoilers. There's plenty of guys to get drawing, and I can't wait to show them off per month, too. I may as well keep doing this. I don't really see what the downside's going to be. Oh no, you know more about the game! Oh no! Scout's had some upgrades given to her arsenal. Combat hasn't really been touched because it's technically done, I just need to animate it. But a big one I wanted to get done was her movement. Level design is a priority to start figuring out, and I need Scout to have all of her moves. One such move is her wall run. Scout can run up walls both in front of her and to her side. She also gets a boost up the faster she moves. You could easily skip a lot of sections if you know how to use the wall run. Another thing added is sliding. It's just like Sonic's rolling. Faster downhill, slower uphill, can go under things, and you need to jump to cancel it. Also, there's a spin dash equivalent too, so you can rev up from a standstill. The drawback with sliding is that you can't control your jumps or air movement unless you do an air dash or a trick. This is fun, and I think her movement as of right now is basically final. There's not much to add besides context-sensitive stuff, but that's about it. Now you may be asking yourself what's going on with Scout's animations. It doesn't look like I've added anything new, and that's correct. I've been doing a lot of research on modeling just to see if I can get a good fit for this game's art style. I wanted to keep the blocky, segmented parts Scout has, but I also wanted to see if there's anything else that I could try out. One idea is a uniform model instead of a bunch of chunks, and I honestly like it a lot. The craziest part with this uniform model is that it has less polygons than the original model. I'm still kind of testing the waters with this art style, and I honestly might change it to that. It just looks nicer. I know shaders are something I need to play around with too, but one thing at a time. Now, one thing at a time is insane with Scouter. I wasn't really used to this because of how massive the scope was in Draco Blood in comparison to Scouter. Making something in Draco Blood feels like I did 1/1000th of a thing. With Scouter, I do one thing, and it feels like 1/100th of something done. It feels so much better and faster to work on this game. I mean, I showed you Inti, but a lot of the characters have designs already, and there's just 8 main characters. Draco Blood has the main 4, but like, if we're talking like what could be considered I see them more than once, that's like 40 or 50. Man, this game is just so much lighter to work on. It doesn't mean I hate Draco Blood, it's just easier to work on Scouter is all. So that's it for this month. Now that means what to recommend to all of you next. I recommend Android Kakaider the Animation. It's a really fun story by Shotaro Ishinomori. You know, the creator of Kamen Rider, Cyborg 009, and whatnot. It served as an inspiration to Mega Man too, on if a robot can have moral dilemmas. Proto Man himself is a walking reference to the series. The animation itself is nice and the art style is pleasing, but it's not amazing, just a pretty good romp. It has 2 sequels that aren't as good as the first, but still pretty decent. So, next time I'm going to focus on getting some level design in, getting some models put in place, getting enemies, and you'll start seeing progress. Oh, also, if you're in the alpha tier on Patreon, get excited, because you're going to see one in February. So with that, take care until the next.